Let's all laugh at the sugars, part 26. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Well, they are still around, despite the fact that their living saint continues to commit gaffe after gaffe. The sugars still exist. Indeed, a number of them even flew out to Nigeria, all wearing the same type of dress, in order to spend a fleeting moment with the colossus that is this one's wife. Naturally, some of them come across my channel, and in so doing, all they do is demonstrate what dimwits they are. They continue to exhibit their cerebral challenges as they spew their viciousness, their hatred, their hypocrisy, and their complete inability to understand the evidence that demonstrates what this one's wife is. Continuing to engage in knee-jerk reactions based upon their jaundiced view of the world, seeking to protect somebody who is a thoroughly unpleasant individual, whilst also engaging in the spineless bullying of the Princess of Wales, the sugars very much do show their true colours. Every once in a while, they'll come along onto my channel and offer some comment. It merely provides me with fuel and amusement at how over and over again these amoeba beat their little fists on the edifice that is the Ultra. And naturally, as your glorious narrator, it behooves me to share some of this tomfoolery with you. So, I would recommend that you ensure that you have no beverages near you, that you don't have anything in your mouth other than your teeth and your tongue, and that you can settle back and join with me and, of course, the Horn of Ridicule, ready, willing and able to identify those key idiotic phrases as we now laugh at the sugars. Our first sugar is Mary Johnson. I don't wish to know who you are. That's okay, because you never will do. But you must be very sick. No, I'm perfectly fine, thank you. I did have a little bit of a recurring cough, but that went away as a consequence of exposure to a lovely sunny period as of late. But you're probably very sick and twisted, I should imagine. And I feel very sorry for you. I don't want your pity. My guess is you're working as PR for Royal Family. Well, your guess is an uneducated one, and you're completely wrong. I'm being paid megabucks. No, I'm not. To spew these hateful, no, they're not, they're evidence-based, vile, hardly, racist, no, disgusting remarks against Prince Harry and his lovely, intelligent, misspelt wife, this one's wife. She's neither lovely nor intelligent. It isn't a racist thing to say that. It isn't vile to say that. Her behaviour shows she's not lovely, and you can tell that she's not intelligent as a consequence of the way that she speaks. These two beautiful people, well, that's a matter of opinion, are being invited to these African countries because the perception they give off is love, a virtue the British people have lost along the way, and idiots like you aren't helping. So, whilst you accuse me of being racist, you smear an entire nation by suggesting that the British people have lost love. I don't wish harm to Kate Middleton, but she wasn't a very nice person. Why are you commenting about somebody you don't know? Because that's what you say to everybody else, Mary Johnson. You don't know her. She was one of the racist ringleaders. No, she wasn't. In the palace, who constantly bashed this one's wife. Could you supply some evidence of that? You can't, because you're a moron. If she is still around, she is, then she should have the decency to find a way at least, say a witch high. Find a way to at least say a witch high to her well-wishers. Doesn't even fucking make sense, you clown. And stop all the current speculation. Just a quick word to the three creeps who cling like grim death to a crumbling monarchy. Stay off the booze and gain respect from your subjects. What's the betting that Mary Johnson is an old soak? What's the betting that Mary Johnson sits there, hands trembling as she reaches for another glass of some strong liquor, as she then, in a frenzy, starts hammering away, typing, just using 2 fingers, not able to use more than that, just those 2 pudgy fingers slapping away at the keyboard. Frank22131. What is the meaning, this one's wife? Well, it means because she called Harry this one, and she's married to Harry, that makes him her husband, and him, or rather her, that makes her his wife. So I'm using her words, this one, and her status, the wife of this one. Very easy. You hate her. No, you see, this is where you, as an educationally subnormal plank, fail to understand that just because somebody's described as this one's wife, using her own words and her status, that doesn't make anybody a hater. Leave this one's wife alone. Sabotier. Well, thanks for that. Now, fuck off. Next up, Ole Inc. You are a bloody liar. No such thing happened in Nigeria. It did. The whole world saw and watched all the events attended by Harry and this one's wife. Nigerians love them. I've seen quite a lot of video footage that suggests that they don't. You racist Britons, there we are, have become a laughingstock. No, anybody that types in capitals like you do, spouting off as if you're going to give yourself an aneurysm, is a laughingstock. Talk about missing Kate. She's not missing. She's unwell. Rose and William. Well, Rose isn't with William. Rose actually has threatened legal proceedings as a consequence of the defamatory comments. So I would suggest to you, Ole Inc., that you wind your neck in and take your caps lock off. Xanalee434. Stop with the lies. What do you get from writing such nonsense? I'm educating people about narcissism. Next question. The trip is a success. Haters are pained. That is why you will write such nonsense. Well, I'm actually talking, aren't I? I'm not writing it. Rather write about your cheating king mistress of a queen violent. What? An arrogant William and weighty Kate. You see, once again, sugar tits, what you're doing here is exhibiting exactly the behaviour that is so encapsulated with regard to you idiot sugars. You attack other people claiming that they are writing hateful nonsense. And then what do? You write hateful nonsense. You're a hypocrite. Plain and simple. You're also an arsehole. Oh, look who's back. It's Mary Johnson. Can't stay away, you see. It makes me want to vomit. Well, fine. At the sheer amount, do you mean amount, of land, castles, palaces, mansions, paintings and jewels these leeches have stolen over the years? The royal family is in one heck of a mess currently. How can they be if they've stolen all of those palaces and mansions and land and castles and paintings and jewels? They'd be sitting pretty, wouldn't they? They'd be sat there going, ha 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 ha, look at Mary Johnson. Sat there in her shack, which is at risk of falling down. And here I am in a huge palace. In actual fact, why don't we organise for someone to go over there and set it on fire? That'll be a royal laugh, wouldn't it? I expect idiots like you. Look, Mary, I'm far cleverer than you. I'm far more articulate than you. You are the idiot. And, oh, you're going to tell me that I'm being paid megabucks by the royal family. Is that because that's just one of those set phrases that you just have? I bet you have never met this one's wife. I have. I've already explained that. What on earth is this obsession about her? There isn't. It's very simple. Lots of people like to watch videos about her. That spreads word of my channel, spreads word of narcissism, makes sense for me to use it. I'd be stupid if I didn't. I'd be an idiot if I didn't use somebody that was so prominent to teach about narcissism. And I'm not one. You are. Undoubtedly, she is of high intellect. Well, if you think that this one's wife is of high intellect, Mary Johnson, that just confirms that we could probably count your IQ on one hand. And wouldn't give lowlife like you the time of day. H.G. Tudor writes, Rosebud fuck, you are the biggest narcissist. Huzzah! I am the ultra. I am the ultra narcissist. At last, recognition by a sugar of my excellent status. You are a grifter? Hardly. I actually create content. I actually do what I say. When people book audio consultations with me, they get them. When people book narc detectors and empath detectors and trait detectors and weaponized empath detectors and email consultations, they receive the material. Always. No grifting here. A liar and a gutter rat. No. The person that's lying, Rosebud, is you. You are talking what you think, not what you know for a fact. Well, there are instances where I'll express an opinion, but it's a well-formed one, unlike yours. You have never met Princess This One's wife, or Prince Harry. I've met both of them, actually. You are a dimwit, a gutter snipe, and a liar making up stories about people you don't know. Except I do. But also as well, Rosebud, people comment all of the time on people they've not actually met. You can do that when you have evidence. You see, you're just a simple sugar. Your brain doesn't really function particularly well. So what you do is you just sit there drooling into your blancmange as you think, I'll just write out what everybody else writes. I'll just keep repeating, liar, you don't know them. Princess This One's wife is entitled to live where she ever wants to live. That is her right. You are a disgusting prejudice liar. A prejudice liar? What's one of those? Oh, Caps is on now, getting angry. Stop lying and go get yourself meaningful work. You stop lying and go and get yourself a dictionary. To the listeners of this dim-witted show, go and get your information from reliable sources. So insult my viewers now. After you do, you'll know the truth. G.H. Tudor, well done for getting my name the wrong way round, is the biggest liar and a narcissist the highest order. I am a narcissist. I tell you this, but I think you're writing it as if to say you're insulting me. You're not. All you're doing is demonstrating that you're a pleb and I'm far superior to you. Next, we have Roswell Red 2. Wow. Or maybe they're writing World of Warcraft. People use to think for themselves. I think you mean used. Now on the bandwagon to hate This One's wife, misspelt name. No one knows her. But hateful British tabloids print false stories. I think y'all are just mad, her. And Harry don't have to show the children and do what the press thinks they should. Look how they harassed Catherine while fighting cancer if she had to make a statement. They put out William was cheating on her and other false stories. That's the sugars that did that, you clown. But yet y'all still believe what is written. The racism came from the British themselves. Harry and This One's wife, misspelt, never said the royals were racist, although they have been known to be racist. So keep supporting the side chic, do you mean chick, who is queen along with Sarah, who used the royals to make money, and can't forget Andrew. Yes, the money you give to the royals supports them all, but Harry and This One's wife, misspelt. Well, a bit of a word salad there that doesn't make a lot of sense, and at risk of wearing out the horn of ridicule. Next we have Elsie Winter, 1818. Why do you worry so much about someone else's wife and how they choose to live their lives? Well, it isn't worry. It's the utilisation of the information for teaching people about narcissism. I don't think you actually listen, do you? You don't watch the videos and listen. You just see, oh look, there's another video about This One's wife, and you don't actually pay attention to what's being said, probably because I use too many long words for you. These people are not funded by taxpayers. Well, actually, they have been funded by taxpayers because a lot of their transport and security costs have been met by taxpayers around the world. So, fuck you. They do as they damn well please. Absolutely right about that. It's the sense of entitlement. Harry loves his brother and his family in England. I've never said anything to the contrary. But the man needs his own family. He does, but not one that includes a narcissist. Even conjoined twins live separately in their heads from each other. Thanks for that. Hopefully sometime soon, he and his family will mend their rifts on their terms, not your terms. You want Harry to always be the third wheel and scapegoat? No. To follow and pick up after his brother and sister-in-law his entire life? No. He is a grown man, doesn't behave like one. Doesn't Harry deserve a wife of his own? Yes, and people have always said that. They're just alarmed at the fact that he's ensnared with a narcissist. One that wants to live with. Do you own him? No, he chose this one's wife. He did, but misleadingly so. You all expected this woman was Eliza Doolittle that you can belittle as Professor Henry Higgins did. She's Harry's fair lady. Not everybody's. You all called this woman every name except a lady. Might that be because she isn't one? She's married to Harry, not to all of you stuffed shirts. He loves her with all her imperfections. Again, we've never disputed that he loves her, you clown. If that's what makes him happy, does he look happy? Does he? Does he really look happy, Elsie Winter? That's not a happy man. Nobody's happy when they're married to a narcissist. He did not commit an international crime. You trolls are like juvenile bullies in school, except that those bullies are only at school. Oh, right, okay. Thanks for that, Captain Obvious. Your content is far more damaging, spreading on the World Wide Web. Actually, my content saves lives and livelihoods. You see, my testimonials and my email inbox receive repeated emails from people thanking me for my material that has enabled them to understand narcissism and achieve freedom. I have email correspondence whereby people say, if it were not for you, HG, I wouldn't be here. So to suggest that my work is damaging is utter nonsense. Once again, the evidence points to the contrary. But you, Elsie Winter, of course, don't bother to look at the evidence because you're stupid, because you're a jaundiced, tunnel-visioned fool. You all need to change your negative lens and get lens so you can see the glass half full instead of half empty some of the time. Continue on this path, you have nothing to gain. Oh, I stand corrected. Chai-ching, cha-ching, chai-ching. Sad. Is that meant to be a reference to money or something? Rosie Bally has a go now. Another racist who feels he should destroy another royal couple whether he likes it or not. That doesn't make sense. Blame the woman of colour. No, just blame the narcissist, who he can't even deem himself to name, because that's all about stopping her getting the algorithm of recognition. Hey, I can go back to calling her Meghan Markle, you know. In fact, I might start repeatedly calling her Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex. Do you know why? Because then the internet will recognise Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, with all this information about narcissism. You see, as a consequence of observations that have been made by the Royal Grift, utilising AI, AI attributes her name to certain things. So, for instance, where supine press publications write Meghan Markle or Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is a humanitarian, AI collates that information and believes that that's the truth about her, because that's how the AI essentially works. Thus, if lots of people start saying and writing Meghan, Duchess of Sussex is a narcissist, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex tells lies, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex abuses people, then AI will start to see that as the truth. So if you like Rosie Barley, I can just start calling her Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, to boost that exercise. And then the evidence that exists on the internet will be all the more conclusive. So, hey, I can do that. Because his hate is pouring out of every pore in his body. No, I'm not even perspiring at the moment. The fact is that he calls her every dire name possible. No, while not seeing how narcissistic every word he speaks is. Well, I'm a narcissist, which I freely admit to, which I tell you about this channel. But if you actually had functioning brain cells, you'd know that, rather than writing this dross. Funny how he hates a woman of colour. I don't. I just find her pathetic and boring. It's got nothing to do with her being a woman of colour. Exudes such vile hatred from him while turning a blind eye to the royal who raped underage girls. Yeah, I've completely ignored Prince Andrew, haven't I? I've not done any videos about him. I've never commented about him at all. Fucking fool. Can you see and even feel the utter and vile racism? Who is this racist? Well, probably you, I would imagine, because you're the one that's spitting bile and hatred, but we've all come to expect that from you dumb fucks. Next we have Edna7725, and you sound like a frog. Are you being racist, Edna, suggesting that I sound French? Frenchman sounds like this. I don't sound French, and I don't sound like a frog either. If you think this sounds like a frog, I would recommend that you make an appointment with your doctor, because there's something clearly wrong with your hearing. While he's there, ask him if he could assess your mental capacity, because he's likely then to send you off to an institution. The bottom line is the royal family is racist. So get over it. No, you get over it, Edna. LLS 7305. Sir, you are simply racist. You do the same to this one's wife. She can never do any right to you in England. You're right, actually, she can't. Nothing and no one is more narcissistic than people of England. So here we are, another sugar, engaging in the behaviour in a couple of lines whereby they lambast somebody accusing them of being racist without any evidence, and then go and be racist themselves by labelling the people of a nation as narcissistic. They really are clowns, aren't they? Next, we have someone who has a question for me. It's Marie K 4557. I have a question, HG. Are you racist? No. There we are. Answered. Like, for real, is MG is the only one which is a social climber? Like Kim K takes all black men and became famous thanks to black communities, especially high-profile black men. Nobody says nothing. You mean nobody says anything. But when it's the other way around, everyone seems choked. Even if it is true at the very least, she have understood that she can use her charm to come to the top and not be a video vixen, R&B chick, or married to black rapper which hate themselves, and wish to have a wittier? Do you mean whiter legacy through a mixed race or white women? Well, Marie K, I'd respond to that if actually I understood the point that you were trying to make, as it seems rather garbled. Are you trying to suggest that we should praise this one's wife because she hasn't become an R&B chick or married a black rapper for the purposes of self-advancement? You do realise that she married a member of royalty in order to make herself well-known and to access money, that she's got no appreciable talent or ability, which has been evidenced. That's not just a false accusation from me. That has been evidenced by her repeated inability to get anything off the ground, to complete the projects that she starts, that she's demonstrates she's got no charisma. Listen to her talk, it's mindless beige word salad. That's all evidence I'm talking about. Just look at what she's failed to achieve over the last few years, and you'll see the only reason that she's known is the man that she married. So she might as well have been a video vixen, R&B chick, or married a black rapper, because it'd have got her to a similar place. Oh, look who it is. It's Mary Johnson again, who's developing quite the obsession with regard to your glorious narrator. You're, misspelt of course, really quite a funny comedian, HG. I am fucking hilarious, particularly when I'm taking the piss out of you. Are you truly being paid to spew out this crap? Prince has no intention of going back to that slimy environment where he and his beautiful wife were brutally treated for being truthful. Do you mean Prince Harry? Prince, the artist, is dead. Can't for the life of me understand why the British media and royal family are so obsessed with them. Well, the media are because lots of people read about them, which means they get clicks and sell advertising. And lots of people want to read about her because they want to see her fail because of the nastiness that she's exhibited towards many people, including the people of the United Kingdom. Their obvious seething hatred of them is beyond me. I think most things are beyond you, Mary. I think it's time you just accept that that's the case. Where is the loving Kate, who treated this one's wife so brutally? She is at home, recuperating and looking after herself because she's got cancer. What about that do you not understand? Oh, I beg your pardon. It's beyond you, isn't it? Making hateful comments about the colour of little Archie's skin. Did she? What's the evidence of that? You mean this one's wife? A proven liar saying that? Just shows exactly where your biases and prejudices are. What horrible woman would do that, knowing how very vulnerable this one's wife was at the time, when there was nobody else around to give her any support? She had loads of fucking support. She had a husband. She had a husband, for goodness sake. She had an entire staff, more support than most people would have. You really are thick, aren't you? You really are cerebrally challenged. Thank the Lord they've moved on, have they? Have they? They still use the titles. They still behave like they're royals. Have, through their sheer hard work and determination, built up a sustainable little empire in California. Do you mean the sustainable empire where Spotify got rid of them because you didn't generate anything, and that Netflix are hugely disappointed as a consequence of their failure to create content? Do you mean the empire whereby American Riviera Orchard, which was launched nearly 3 months ago and has done sweet fuck all? Do you mean that little empire? Do you mean the one where she's tried to join the A-list and they've all turned their backs on her? Do you mean the one where she was going to be a politician and nothing's happened there? Do you mean the one where she engages in philanthropy but basically utilises the Archwealth as a means of paying her expenses? Do you mean that little empire? Wake up, you fucking clown. Well loved and admired by the US people. No, they're not. Most US people couldn't give a rat's ass about them. Do you know why? Because many people in the United States, whilst they're focused on success and they praise success, they don't like grifters and they don't like people that completely slam their family. You know what? And get a decent job. I've a very decent profession that I engage in, far better than I expect what you do. And stop slandering people you probably have never met, and continue to join the gossiping washerwoman who obviously have nothing better to do in their miserable, boring lives. What, you mean like you, that's already written 3 comments for the purpose of trying to support the person that you've never met, who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire? Mary Johnson, you are Clown Sugar of the month. Now we have Awakening Empath. I'm pretty certain this person isn't. More racist. Megan, misspelt, bashing, some mixed race get to the top. Get used to it, Mr. Pompous Englishman. I'm sure they do. It's not a problem for me. Patrick Miller, 1834. You are such a damn racist. Using sexual language because she's the black winch, correct? What? Dark, deep-rooted desires you display. You need therapy, pervert. Patrick Miller, I would suggest that you're engaging in some fairly hefty projection. And I would imagine that you're already on a sexual offenders list and a police watch list. And I certainly would be advising people to check your hard drive. Elise 3513. I hope this one's wife will take you to court. Because to make set diagnosis on a person you have never even talked to, wrong, just says how ridiculous, misspelt, you are. Well, coming on somebody else's channel and making assertions which don't make sense and are baseless perhaps demonstrates how ridiculous you are. Miss Rockstar Glamazon, you're not at all pleased with yourself, are you? Listen. Well, no, I can't listen to you. You're writing, but hey. Listen, I've been watching and listening to you talk trash about this man's wife and her for ages. Thanks for all the views, then. You with your racist jibes because she's not fully white. It's disgusting. It's about narcissism. When do you ever hear me comment about her skin colour? Other than picking up on the ridiculous points that you and your fellow sugars make, trying to make it about race when it's not. You're really tiresome. Keep banging the race drum. I hope it's a small majority of British who think this way. So you want it to be a majority, do you? Okay. As I remember, misspelt as a child being called the N-word, and how it messed up my mental health for a while. But I was with a Caucasian man, misspelt, for many years, and he was so pure, non-judgmental, misspelt, and it's the very thing that we as people, misspelt, need, not hate to divide families. I personally would not step back in this country if you paid me. Which country are you referring to? The United Kingdom? Nobody's paying you to come here, so you're pretty safe in that regard. The racist behaviour is disgusting. So Kate Williams' wife goes missing. She doesn't. You really are brainless, aren't you, how you keep swallowing that? William is half drunk in public. Really? When? Then he does not want to support his father, who is 80 years, no, he's 74, 75, if because he's too lazy. So Charles, who has cancer, has to go and ask Harry to help. He didn't, although Harry most likely did not want to. But no, you want to hound his wife. If I was a mother, I wouldn't come back here either. You're obsessed with her, and your bullying and gaslighting is disgusting. You don't even understand what gaslighting is. Maybe watch my channel a bit more, and you will. I shall not be listening to this channel ever again. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. It's not a place of healing. It's toxic. Actually, it is a place of healing. The millions of views that my videos have got, and all of the testimonies, as I've referred to earlier, demonstrate that. But what have you been doing for people, Miss Rockstar Glamazon, apart from calling yourself a preposterous name? Harry was let go by all of you racist, excluding those that don't think this way because you all ran him and his wife out of England, saying you did not need him, yet he never healed from the loss of his mother, and neither did William. These boys are now men who are still struggling with grief. They need each other and the public to pull them both and their families together. Unfortunately, Harry fell in love with a woman who's half white, half black. Shame she's not pure royal blood, right? But clearly all you do and want is to spread poison. All I'd like you to do is use some punctuation. William has done something to Kate, who is nowhere to be seen. Again, we know where she is, and apparently won't be for a whole 9 months. That's not normal. It is when somebody's unwell, and quite possibly their physical appearance has been affected by chemotherapy. Clown. If it was just tummy surgery, no pictures, nothing. Why putting empathy into that instead? I recommend you go and get a dictionary, and you go and learn the English language. Finally, we have I Got Tiger's Blood. HG doing what narcs do best. The All Smear campaign. He has all these narc survivors turning into flying monkeys, and they're too oblivious and jealous, you mean envious, of Meghan, misspelt, to see it. Guaranteed it's a bunch of fat Karens, sitting at home, angry and hating their lives. Well, I know what many of my viewers look like, those that have consulted with me, and actually, they're far from fat Karens. They're invariably decent people who've come to seek help as a consequence of being abused by narcissists. And I can tell you that there are many of those that consult with me who are real hotties. Very attractive people. Probably put you to shame. I Got Tiger's Blood. I mean, you can see some of them in some of my videos because they've appeared in videos when I got to 100,000 subscribers many moons ago. And you can see what they look like. And they are attractive. So to call them fat Karens, etc., just demonstrates that you're not a very nice person. But we knew that anyway. Well, there we are, dear Tudorites. More idiocy, predictable behaviour from the Shuggers, and I trust that you've enjoyed having a good laugh at them. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.